Hello everyone and welcome back to the JP on Comms YouTube channel for another review style video. This time we're going to be looking back at the Bromley game as well as every game since I uploaded this video right here. In the previous video that I've just put on screen, if you did watch it, it was received quite well, so I thought it's probably best I do something this style again. In that video I did take a look. It's sort of a two-in-one type video. I included my Wrexham review and then highlighted some very key issues which we've seen throughout the season so far and how we can improve going forward. Now, this video is going to be a very similar style to that. We're going to be checking in on some of the points that I made in that previous video, seeing whether we have improved on them at all or maybe even regressed a little, and then as well doing my Bromley preview and taking a little look back over every game since that Wrexham video. So again, hopefully this is appealing to a few people. This is the sort of style video I want to be doing maybe every month or so. So just taking a little look at how we are progressing through the season, seeing if the same issues still persist and what we've done to tackle them throughout the season. So let's crack onto the video, and first of all, let's take a look at Bromley. Of course, a 3-0 defeat on the road at Hayes Lane. Our first somewhat local derby of the season, just an hour and a half or so away with the traffic. Of course, it was terrible on that day, at least for me, but it was a very disappointing performance indeed. The closest rivals we have in this league in terms of distance, and I think everybody wanted us to continue that local derby form that we had last season against the likes of Dartford and Ebbsfleet and teams like that in the league. We were exceptional last year. Unfortunately, not seeing that carry through to the National League this season. We did end up losing 3-0. Very, very poor in many aspects. I did commentate that game. There was 521 away fans in attendance as well, which is exceptional. Big, congratulations for everybody who did go. Massive attendance there, which is really good to see. Such a big Maidstone proportion of the people in attendance. But looking at the game in total, it was very upsetting from a commentary standpoint. I did commentate that game with Nigel Seeger, who you'll recognise from the podcast on this channel, but yeah, it was a tough one to stick out. Lots of mistakes, very little opportunities going forward, and battered and played off the park for the entire 90 minutes really, besides maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the start of each half. And there was 100 minutes played as well. Well, we did go into the 100th minute. They had a goalkeeper in goal for the last 25 minutes or so. And we had about 4 or 5 shots on target throughout the game. 2 or 3 of which came in one spell in the first half, which were all relatively simple for the keeper to deal with. He did do well, to be fair, but it does seem that this chance creation and chance taking in the side at the moment is at a pretty stale low. We did see, of course, last season everything we hit turned to goal. Jack Barham won the highest conversion rates in the league last year, and coming into the National League, if you compared his stats last year to everyone in the National League last year, he stacks up pretty well against them. Obviously a different division, but we was expecting a little bit more, I think. Forster coming down that right hand side, my word, what a pain in the arse. A stunning performance from him. Really impressed by that. Adam Marriott bagged himself a couple goals as well. Cheek had a pretty good game. Shawumni as well, or Shawunmi, not quite sure how to pronounce that one, but fantastic. Probably man of the match, if not Forster for me. Bagged himself a goal as well. But looking at the game as a whole, just not good enough in any department from Maidstone. Really slacking in every single aspect. Starting off with the defence, of course, let's just look at the goals we conceded. We conceded a corner. Again, another set piece, which is not good. That's the third set piece we've conceded since the Wrexham game now. A long throw against Wealdstone, a corner against Gateshead. But Bromley absolutely peppered us with corners in this game. Could have scored a good 4 or 5 just from corners. They won pretty much every header from it. Had Yusuf Mersin punching the ball almost into his own net. It just defensively was very shambolic at times against Bromley. But unfortunately, Cody Leons-Foster left his man. Shawumni got a good little run in and, of course, tucked one home. The second goal, there is a ball being played down our left flank, the Bromley right. And I actually said it on the commentary. I think it's in the highlights video as well on Stones TV. That you can see Ryan Galvin attempting to organise Rory Deacon down that left side, trying to get him back and organise him, marking who he's supposed to be marking. Doesn't happen. I say it's, the communication's broken down on that left side. They're not talking to each other. It's one-way communication. And straight away, within 5 seconds, Deacon's left his man. He picks up the ball. Galvin's drawn out. Someone else who is then left open picks up the ball, gets the ball in at the front post. Adam Marriott scores a very simple but well finished goal. And again, Cody Leons-Foster is unfortunately the man in the middle who's just fallen asleep. Let Marriott get the run on him. Very, very poorly, I must say, but it's very reactive instead of proactive. As soon as that player out wide wins the ball and gets in a good position, you have to be anticipating a run towards the front post, or, having the confidence in the team around you to defend the back post, which would allow you to cover the front of the goal. Just very poor, very, very poor in many different aspects there. The communication on the flanks, the defence in the middle, not good enough. And then, of course, the third goal, the dreaded third goal, which really just came after a 2-minute spell at the start of the second half for Maidstone. Came out the gates looking really good, fired up, amped up. On the commentary, I said, bit of a ray of sunshine compared to that first half performance. And literally as I finished playing that sentence, shot comes in from the other side, from the right hand side of the Maidstone box, the left hand side of the Bromley attack. Gavin Hoyt beaten uncharacteristically. That's the first error. Doesn't start running after the guy until he's level with him, and the guy's already got a run on him. So the time Gavin's turned and started chasing, can't catch him. Shot comes in from the flank. Mersin does not deal with it particularly well. Could have done better. Not excellent goalkeeping, to be purely honest, but I do expect a little bit better from him. Palms it into the middle of the goal. Second mistake in that phase of play, or the run of play. And then the third thing for me is reaction speed of Cody Leons-Foster again. Sleeping, letting Adam Marriott just get a run in and poke that ball into the back of the net. And again, a lot of it might seem I'm singling out Cody Leons-Foster here. That's really not the case. I'm just trying to explain that he is involved in all three of the goals in some aspect, but a lot of people have said that he's the reason why we're conceding these goals. Yes, he's involved. He's responsible in some aspect, but look at the wider picture. Look at the organisation for that second goal. Look at the rest of the box for the corner. That ball comes all the way through the box. That corner misses every single player in the Maidstone box. Every single one. Not a single player attempts to get the ball. Everybody who even gets near it misses it. Falls Cody Leons-Foster and Shawumni near the back post. Easy tap in. Cody Leons-Foster's the man at the end. What happened before it got there? God knows. Not very good from Maidstone. Same goes for the second goal. Okay, he's let him slip at the front post, but that's the last phase of play during that run of play. And phase 1 and phase 2, Ryan Galvin, Rory Deacon. No communication, no organisation on the flank. Ball comes in very easily, straight towards the front post. Great delivery, easy goal. Again, can't single out one player for that. Third goal, 3 players, 3 mistakes. Unfortunately, they all come at once, bit like buses, but yes, that did seal the victory for Bromley. In terms of the midfield, we got absolutely spanked. Played off the park for a solid 80 of the 90 minutes, without doubt. Just no anticipation, no really solid breaking up of the play, no cohesion, no link up in that midfield, no sort of interlinking, no triangles, no diamonds, no formation, just simply endless running at times, getting dragged all over the park. Just I didn't really know what the plan was, to be honest, coming into this game. And then the front line, just nowhere near good enough. Christy Patterson couldn't beat a man to save his life, unfortunately. He really did get locked down by that left side of Bromley. Often doubled up on as well, which didn't help because sometimes he beat the man, the left wing back, got past him, and he's got 6'2", 15 stone defender in front of him, and he just doesn't stand a chance. So Jack Barham as well. I feel so sad for Jack. It's really disappointing that, you know, we've come into this league, we've managed to get him to stay after everyone was so worried he'd leave, and he's only got 2 goals this season, and he couldn't really have had many more. He could have scored against Altrincham, he didn't, but besides that, he is taking pretty much the chances he's getting, but he's not getting any chances. We can't really feed him the ball sufficiently. We're playing a lot of Route 1 football up to him, hoping that he can touch it down and hold it up. And when he does that, we're feeding the ball through to nobody because he is the forward man dropping deep. So he's very often not in the box or around the box because he's involved in the link-up play, which just ushers him out of the game even more. Something needs to change. We need to choose either Jack Barham and adapt the style of play to him to fit this league, or we need to drop him, get someone else in who is more suited to the style of play that we're trying to do with this kind of knocking it up to a player up front. Maybe a James Alawi could deal with it a little bit better, but when he came on against Bromley, didn't get a sniff, so it is very difficult. Perhaps you have to look at the recruitment, but again, that is kind of addressing a few of the issues that we mentioned in the Wrexham and start of the season video. Recruitment has not been fantastic. Ryan Galvin looking like the brightest prospect that's come in so far this season, and he's only on a 2-month loan. Henry Woods has just vanished into the abyss. God knows what's happened to him. Josh Fawole gets max 10 minutes every game pretty much, same as James Alabi if he can even get on the field. Jack Cooley isn't even in favour of Cody Leons-Foster, who's come in from Aldershot on a loan deal. You know, you think you want to be playing your senior players who you've bought in on these permanent options rather than a quick fix loan player. Solwandjo Smith, unfortunately injured. But in this team, who knows how he's going to perform. I've got high hopes for him, but, you know, we don't play to suit his style anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Hopefully something changes when he comes back. Not sure if I've left anybody else out, but that is pretty much it. Ryan Galvin looking very good at the moment, though. Fantastic against Maidstone, my man of the match in that game on his debut, and all right against Bromley in a team performance which was just shambolic. So going back, of course, throughout all the games, the other 4 games since we played Wrexham, and I made that last video. Start off against Torquay United, our first and only clean sheet of the season, at home at the Gallagher, 1-0 win, and we got lucky. We did get lucky. I think Hakan said it, I think their manager said it after the game, a lot of the fans said it. First half they were all over us, couldn't hit a barn door from half a yard out, wasted a lot of opportunities. We had many defensive frailties. Cody Leons-Foster did give the ball away a good 2 or 3 times in that opening 20 minutes of that game. But we held out. Yusuf Mersin performed exceptionally well in that game. Carried us through to the second half. We got the winner through James Alabi, showing his impact off the bench. A big thing that I've found as a quite a heavy criticism of Maidstone so far this season is that our first 11 is considerably weaker than it was last season, and our bench is now considerably weaker than it was last season, in my opinion. We do not have the impact off the bench that we had with Patterson last season, with Odesanya last season, or just, you know, someone who can come on and give something a little bit extra, that pick up in, desperate times. This season we've had James Alabi, Josh Fawole, Jack Cooley, Henry Woods, none of which have really had an impact until the Torquay game, where James Alabi came on and got that goal. Unfortunately, barely featured since, which does confuse me a little bit. But, sometimes that's just how it works. You've got to pick your moments, take your chances, and he did in that game. Deacon had an outstanding performance against Torquay. And then going on to the Aldershot game, the other game on Bank Holiday Monday, we again got quite lucky in the first half, didn't concede any goals, didn't score any goals, barely got anyone into the box. Jack Barham was invisible, unfortunately. Again, not his fault because he was getting dragged back and ushered out of the game with the style that we were playing. And then second half, we came out and just flooded the box. We had 4 players in for every ball into the box, and we scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. And that is why, because we had the numbers, we had the ability to get a ball into the box against a slightly weaker Aldershot team, out of form. And as soon as we went 3-0 up, we switched off. And again, we saw something we've seen a lot this season. Just the mentality has seemed to have slipped a little bit, maybe a bit complacent after last season. I doubt it. I just think it's maybe a quality thing. We're not entirely comfortable with just how good some National League teams can be. Even the worst teams, who at that point Aldershot were one of, have since hit a purple patch, but at that time were not very good. They come back straight away and got a goal out of nowhere. We didn't close them down on the edge of the box. Justin Amaluza scores a worldie, and then we're panicking, and they get a couple more chances after that. So, we really need to see out games. We really need to keep clean sheets just for confidence, if anything. And then, of course, after that game, we did end up playing Wealdstone. The Solihull game was cancelled, so we'll wipe that one out for that, this run of games. But Wealdstone, again, defensively very impressed. I was very impressed by the defensive performance against Wealdstone. But they did have the better of the chances in that game. Mundell Smith was getting down the left quite a lot. Gavin Hoyt looked a little bit slower, but Ryan Galvin was fantastic down that left-hand side, linking up with Rory Deacon really well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any goals from that. And then the second half, we did take advantage and capitalise upon a defensive mistake. Christy Patterson applying some good pressure to the fullback of Wealdstone. Managed to get a ball into the box. Sam Corn finishes in Sam Corn style, of course. Late run into the box, goal into the roof of the net. So, really good to see that. Unfortunately, right at the end of the game, we do it again. We switch off. We're very reactive, not proactive in dealing with things. Another set piece goal conceded, this time a long throw in. And if you actually look at the goal, and for me, it could have been dealt with very simply. I know that's easier said than done, but when that ball comes in, from where it's been taken, it's not going to reach the far side of the box. So they need to aim for the near side of the box. The biggest player on the near side of the box was their captain, Jack Cook. I think his name might be Jake. I think it's Jack. And he is the one that ultimately scores the goal. He's being marked by, I believe, Regan Booty. I don't know why, but you have to expect a player who's much bigger than Regan Booty to come away with the ball or get a flick on or something like that. And they're going to aim for him. So the plan in place needs to be, if he ends up with the ball, what happens? Okay, well, Regan's a lot smaller than him, so he's probably going to lose out. So he wins the ball. Jack Cook then wins the ball. As he turns, Regan Booty unfortunately loses out. This gives Cook a free rein to just hammer one into the bottom left corner. And the person in between him and the goal is Cody Lyons-Foster. And again, I don't want to single him out, but you're the man in between the guy with the ball and the goal. You've got to presume that Regan Booty, considering the size difference and the fact that Regan is goal side of the player, that this player is going to come out of this situation with the ball. You then need to preempt what your next move is going to be should he get into a shooting position. And unfortunately, once he's in a shooting position, the action is then taken to step out, but it's too late. And that ultimately cost us that final goal. So again, it's not Cody's fault single-handedly, but a little bit more proactiveness, a little bit more alertness, sharpness, situational awareness, whatever you want to call it in the box, will help us reduce the amount of goals that we're shipping of late. And then again, No, it's not just the defensive frailties that's costing us in games like this. Coming forward as well, we had 2 shots on target all game. It's debatable whether Rory Deacon's shot down low at the near post at the Town end was on target, but if the goalkeeper conceded that, I would have been laughing at him on a commentary, because it's at his near post, it's low down, it's a good shot, but you've got to say that's a bread and butter save for a goalkeeper. Like, if he's conceding that, he's done something wrong there. So, we can't be having 2 shots on target every game. We need to work on it a little bit more. And looking back at the Wrexham game as well, and the Wrexham video, and some of the points that I made in that one, we can see that really they haven't been addressed too well. The first thing that I wanted to highlight from that Wrexham video was the set pieces, how we dealt with them defensively and how we took them offensively. And unfortunately, when it comes to scoring from set pieces, I believe out of the 6 goals we've scored in the last 5 games since that Wrexham video, only 1 of them has come from a set piece, and that, of course, has been the goal against Gateshead in a game where they had ultimately switched off, as it was pretty much the last minute. We did score a penalty as well, actually, so make that 2 set piece goals out of the 6 goals we've scored, which again is a little bit troubling. 4 open play goals in 5 games is somewhat concerning, but we're doing a little bit better offensively from set pieces, but defensively it's exactly the same. 3 goals conceded from set pieces in 5 games, and it's just not good enough. That still hasn't been dealt with. We're still seeing some size issues. Unfortunately, size does matter in the National League, and especially with the quality of squad that we've got, new boys into the league, we're going to have to perform a little bit better than we have been. And to do that, we're going to need physicality, because if you want the technical players who can excel in a league like this, they're going to absolutely obliterate our playing budget. And we cannot afford to get in the players like Ruben Rodriguez and, your Davies of Wrexham and things like that. So physicality is what we need. That is what is going to win us points in this division, and it still has not been addressed really. So for me, that is something that I'd like to see worked on in the next month or so. However, going on to the next thing we saw in the previous video was the left back situation, something that I highlighted impacted the team very, very heavily. Not having a left back, or at least not playing a left back at left back. We did have Liam Vincent. We've now got Ryan Galvin. I'm very happy with Ryan Galvin, very, very happy so far with what I've seen from him. I do think that the more game time he gets, the better we will be. We are playing with a back 4 who are playing in their right positions. Gavin Hoyt back at right back hasn't looked fantastic there, I will be completely honest. Against Wealdstone, he was caught out a couple times. Same against Bromley, but against Bromley, everybody got caught out, so we'll wipe that slate clean. Onto Chesterfield, of course, but it's nice to see defenders playing where they play, usually their natural positions. George Fowler's been very good lately as well, so hopefully we can see that continue, just build on from that. I do believe, though, we need a permanent backup option. Rafe Brown, his injury does not seem to be getting any better. I obviously don't know anything about that, but there's been no information, no return date, no information on the injury. So he was at that game against Bromley, was moving around okay off the pitch, of course, but it's completely different. So hopefully he's going to be fit to return alongside Jerome Bidon-Williams, but I'm not very hopeful. If that is the case, once the current left back, Galvin, does leave, we need to sign a backup option, because we cannot have a recurring injury on Bidon-Williams, especially as a technical player like him in this league. It's very likely that he'll get knocks, and we cannot go back to this Gavin Hoyt left back thing with no actual right back. So we need more numbers in the defence for me. And then another thing that I wanted to address, of course, is the defensive midfield position. There has been no movement on that at all. No midfield has come in. Bhivesh Gurung has been promoted since that video from perhaps reserve or maybe bench option to starting every game. No question, really, and that is a little bit concerning to me. I do like Bhivesh, I do rate him, I do believe he can be a valuable asset to this team, just not in the position that he is in. for me, he's too young, not experienced enough, not physical enough, does not know what it needs or what he needs to be doing in the role he's playing, which is a very important role in a team, that sort of midfield anchor type position. It's quite clear to me that he wants to get forward quite a lot. He drove forward quite a few times against Maidstone and Bromley. Two of our best forward pushes in that game were through him down the left flank, and for me, I don't think he's the option that we need to have there. He's a good backup. He's a potentially good, more advanced midfielder maybe. That could be an option as well. Maybe that's that Sam Cornregan booty position. But when it comes to a holding player, we need physicality. We need height. We saw how players like Shawumni played against us for Bromley. Fantastic asset. We need that. And then, of course, something as well that I want to add is looking at the attack. Something's got to change in the attack. Jack Barham cannot for the life of him catch a break right now. He's getting pelted every game by absolutely massive players. We're not playing to his style of play. It must be incredibly frustrating to beat Jack Barham right now. Playing in the National League where people have told you, you can't cut it. You've been here before. You're not good enough for this division. He knows he's good enough for this division if he's in a team that suits him. And unfortunately, this season, we are not playing a style that suits him very well. This route one, hoping that he can hold the ball up against players twice his size, maybe get a spin on him and a run through on goal, is not sustainable. And that is obviously shown so far this season. Same as Christy Patterson. It's just the impact he had off the bench last season is not there. Obviously, with the starts, he's playing in a much fitter league, a much more professional, more regimented league. And again, he's not really getting the success. He's had a couple of opportunities, down that right-hand side where his pace has got the better of players, but on a consistent, regular basis, that's not something we're seeing. So maybe another attacking option, or we just hold out until Solwandro Smith is back. He should be back in October. He should be. If things go well, he should be back in October. At least that's the kind of thing that we got from him on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully it goes smoothly for him. He can come in and have an impact on the left, maybe Deacon on the right. Then we get our Christie back off the bench, impactful as ever. So again, as I said, looking forward, a couple of things to address. Some more pressing issues have developed alongside some of the things that have yet to be dealt with from the previous video. Hopefully in a month's time, I'll try and do this one on October 20th. So it's exactly another month after the last one. And then we should have a better, clearer opportunity after a very hard month of September and a slightly easier run going in towards that tail end of October of where this squad is, how things are going, and how we're dealing with the issues at hand. So hopefully you all enjoy this video. I understand it's a very lengthy one, but please do understand it's a 2-in-1 video. We'll be doing this once a month, just incorporating a review into a kind of what we need to improve type style video as well. A bit of a 2-in-1, as I said in the Wrexham one. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to shortchange you. I don't want you to go and watch one Bromley review. Come in to watch this video of where we can improve and me talk about Bromley again throughout it. So, lumping it all in one video. I know it's a little bit longer, but hopefully that allows you to keep it all in one place and not have me repeating myself too often. And we can all enjoy this type of video together. If it doesn't suit you, then of course, there's plenty of other stuff on the channel. Hopefully you will enjoy that. But if you did like this video in particular, do leave a like. Do leave your comments on the situation Maidstone are in right now down in the comment section below. And of course, please do subscribe to the channel. We're slowly creeping up in those numbers, but I'd like to see a few more, of course. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.